Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Lion Fight Zoom Chats. We are with Scott Jur here, Justin Kwan over there, and Nathan Corbett kind of down in that corner over there somewhere. And then directly below me, because I'm in Nevada and Warren Thompson's in Georgia, so it's that way. But Warren Thompson is with us, and we are excited to have Warren. This is the first time we've had him on one of our Zoom chats, and really excited because on March 12th, Warren will be part of the North American Heavyweight Title Tournament. That's on UFC Fight Pass and taking place in Kansas. Warren, welcome to our little Zoom chat show here, and let's get things going. I want your opinion right off the start. It's you against Cody East in one semifinal. How's that fight going to go?
I can only control what I bring to the table. So, I'm not good at predicting the weather, but I prepared very hard. That's really all I'm going to say about it.
Do you suspect that it would be the quintessential heavyweight showdown, a couple of guys standing in the middle of the ring and throwing down, or do you feel there might be a little bit more skill and finesse in that fight?
Oh man, I can't tell you all the tricks I got up the sleeve. I can't show my hand this early.
True. Okay, Nathan, take it away.
Yeah, hi Warren. Nice to meet you. Looking forward to meet you in person, of course, in a few weeks. But I've just been, going over some of your fights, looking through YouTube, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I was right with the fact that you used to fight maybe even 185 middleweights and then light heavyweight, and now it's super heavyweight. Is that correct?
Yeah, I fought heavyweight twice before. Once in Thailand, I beat Brian Dowes from Holland, and then in Georgia, Kevin Brooks once as well.
And I think I even saw you fight Mike LeMay down at 185 one stage.
Yeah, I fought at 178, as low as I've ever fought. Wow. And that was a horrible experience.
No, that's why I was just super impressed, with the whole different weight divisions, coming over 3 different weight divisions or 4 different weight divisions, going from that end to that end. Are you well underweight for this fight, or do you sort of hover around a bit lighter?
I'm at 235. Right now, and that's I fluctuate between 230 and 255, just depending on how much crap I'm eating. But in fight training, I stay, if I'm in shape, 230, 235.
Do you feel like that's a great advantage as a heavyweight, instead of trying to cut weight and trying to diet? You're just in your power range, feeling strong, just as you would every other day?
I really do. A lot of times I was more worried about cutting weight for fights than actually the preparation for the fight. You're so tired from 2 or 3 a days. You can't recover. George Lockhart helped me a whole lot back then, and it was still just so hard to recover, being depleted from your glycogen after. I'd love to have like a coconut water or something after, and you couldn't have it. You're like, nah, man, you got 20 pounds to lose in the next week and a half. You can't have it.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. I remember that as well, like training for fights. I was fighting at 210. I'd walk around at 210. Some days I'd wake up at 205, go, okay, I better put 5 pounds on today. But it was a lot easier. And I tell a lot of fighters that, when they're preparing for fights, if they're trying to cut weight, they're spending the whole 8 weeks focusing on weight cut versus focusing on how to fight and spend a lot of energy. I think, as a heavyweight, 240 pound, 235 is big enough to knock anyone out. So it's not going to make a difference. One of the other things that I was super excited about and noticed about a lot of your fights is you love to use the elbows. We're just talking to Joe before. He comes from a traditional Muay Thai. All of you heavyweights have all had MMA fights, MMA careers as well. But we don't often see a lot of heavyweights throwing elbows in Muay. So we don't not a lot of heavyweights in Muay Thai. So I'm excited, as you know, from being an elbow specialist, that watching your highlight reels of you just smashing people with elbows was unreal. So I guess that brings excitement.
Appreciate it, bro.
I guess that brings excitement coming into a stand-up tournament where you can just unload and throw those weapons.
Oh yeah, big difference with the elbows, because a lot of times you can just sneak those in and stop guys where a punch couldn't. They're hard to block on the inside. If you're in the pocket, it's almost impossible to block a good elbow. If they're in their high guard. So. Yeah,
that's right. So Cody East is probably, I guess, maybe not so much the heaviest. Maybe Joe right now is the heaviest of the bunch, but he's probably one of the bigger kind of scale guys on the card. We had him fight Joe 5-rounder a few years ago there, back in Albuquerque. I haven't seen much of him since then. But like I said, we're not giving away any sort of game plans. But does it bother you, I guess, coming up, against such a big heavyweight like Cody?
No, I mean, I've fought big guys in the past, like that 16-man tournament in Thailand. Brian was 255, 260 in that. Brian Dowles. I think Big Daniel Sam, the guy I was supposed to fight next, was 6'5", 265. And we ended up not fighting because I got hurt in the first round.
That Daniel Sam, that's the big black guy that was in those tournaments. Were you in the were you in the tournament? Was that back in Koh Samui?
Yeah. I beat Brian in the first round.
Was Iggy McGowan there who fought
Daniel?
Yeah. Iggy McGowan's a friend. He's the one who said, I'll fight him. I'll fight the big fella.
Yeah.
And he's like short. He just went to war. He lost the fight, but he did well. So he's a good friend of mine from the Gold Coast. So
I just talked to Iggy maybe 2 weeks ago, man. Iggy's a great guy. We keep up with one another. Yeah.
That's unreal. I'm going to message him now after this conversation. That's so cool.
Yeah, tell him I said, what's up?
That's unreal. Oh, that's great. So yeah, I guess it's not an issue for you. And when's the last time you actually stepped into the ring?
So 3 years ago, I was probably 3 years ago, I fought Rob Thomas, and I was winning the whole fight in 28 seconds left. I got a concussion 2 weeks prior, and he ended up knocking me out 28 seconds left in the fight. And I took another fight after another glory guy and lost a decision. And I just hung it up. I was having some concussion issues, felt my chin was gone, just kind of a string in a row. I'd never been knocked out, and all of a sudden I got knocked out twice. So I was like, So it just this year I got training some of my guys. I started into coaching and getting some of them ready for fights. And I kind of got the hunger again. I'm like, this is the one sport. It may not love me back, but I love it so much. I'm like, I'm only 35. If this is the last hurrah and this is it, I just love to go out there and do what I love one more time and no regrets, control everything I can control, be ready for every outcome. If win, lose, draw, whatever happens, enjoy the journey. And it's just, this career is so short and anything can happen. And I missed it and I loved it. And I just want to come back and be a professional again and do what I love.
Warren, I wanted to ask you, I mean, obviously you're not looking past Cody, that would be a dangerous move. But if you did take a second to look past that, the other semifinal has Joe Stripling against Terrence Hodges. That's potentially an interesting dilemma for you, because Terrence is a regular training partner and a bit of a friend of yours. And Joe Stripling is certainly a friend of yours and was initially the guy that put us in touch to get this tournament done. Maybe let's not have you look to see of those two guys who you want to fight, but how do you think that fight will go, Terrence against Joe?
Wow, that's an excellent question there. And I have thought a lot about it. Obviously, I'm human. So you're gonna, look at what's in front of you, but look at possibilities as well. And Terrence is so athletic for a heavyweight. And I think out of us four, he's the most athletic college football player, very fast, explosive guy. You've probably seen his highlights, jumping, spinning, everything. And then you have Joe, who's a very traditional Thai stylist who builds up round by round. He's going to get stronger as the fight goes. So I think it's going to play out if Terrence can be explosive in the beginning versus if Joe can weather the storm and take it into deep water. And I think that's where Joe excels. So obviously I don't know the answer to that, but it could play out one of two ways.
And I also wanted to ask you, I mean, I know we see your training videos all the time and you look sensational while you're getting ready for this fight, but has this training inhibited any of your hunting time? Because I know you are avid outdoorsman.
I am. So I hunted very hard September, October, November. And after Thanksgiving, I tagged out. So I spent all of December getting back in shape. From January on, I've been training. So it hasn't affected me at all. And I have a long vacation planned with the wife and kids after. So,
okay.
So it hadn't affected me much. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hey, I just wanted to thank you for your time on doing this. It's always fun to finally meet people sort of face to face. We're going to get to see you in action very soon, March 12th. Lion Fight 64 on UFC Fight Pass, the North American Heavyweight Title Tournament, and Warren Thompson will be in one of the semifinals. Warren, thanks so much for doing this. I appreciate you, and we will see you and everybody else very soon.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Lion Fight. Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Scott.